Hello everyone! So this series is gonna be a little bit different than anything I've done so far. It's gonna be also available in a form of podcast, and it's gonna be without absolutely any cuts. So kind of a challenge for me, very positive however. If you wanna skip the intro, by the way, and get to the point where this video starts, because this is the first episode, you can skip to the part I'm gonna attach on the screen. Okay, so this type of series is gonna be called Afternoon Talks with Alex, where I'm gonna be drinking tea or coffee, that depends. Today I have a coffee. Hopefully I won't get too caffeinated and not gonna get crazy with my explanations. But the purpose of this series is to allow me to express my thoughts, because I was always looking for a space where I can just say whatever is on my mind, and there's, trust me, a lot. And I wanted to start a YouTube channel since quite a few years, and I just never knew what should this channel be about. So you may know me from Graphology Alex, because that's what I started doing in the last few months, and I was still missing some space where I can just be myself. So in this series you're gonna get to know me more, because I'm gonna be 100% real, 100% the way you see me now. And I'm gonna be talking about quite deep topics, hopefully. I'm not sure how deep it's gonna get, but today we're going to start with you can see no preparation at all. So this episode is gonna be about comparing ourselves to others. Why sometimes we think some people have it easier in life, better in life. Do we have an equal start? And how to get over jealousy, how to get over the fact of comparing ourselves to others without fully knowing their story, and how to finally be at peace with ourselves, with the life we have, which is only one. It's the life we only remember, at least in this lifetime. And yeah, let's start without further ado. Okay, so I want to start this video by explaining what motivated me to touch upon this topic, because it's a really important topic. Comparing ourselves to others, it's a very painful topic as well. So I don't want to say that I have big jealousy problems. I'm somewhere in the middle, not entirely jealous, but not entirely appreciating and admiring the work of other people, which creates some kind of discomfort in me, and I would like to be a better human being. And nowadays we see a lot on the internet, you know, those successful people who are just successful in life. It seems like it came easy to them, whatever they have now. However, I would say that was a few years ago, because now, this year, last year, we have this kind of hustle culture where you can see those successful people. However, they actually show you how much work they put in, how much they have been hustling and grinding, and why are you not doing this, right? If you want to achieve your dreams. And I believe everyone wants to live the life of their dreams. So yeah, what to do about it? Because the space between where we are now and where we want to be, where those people who we admire are, is sometimes smaller, sometimes larger, but it is actually quite big. And in order to actually start working hard and start doing anything with our person to be better, to improve, we kind of need some kind of self-love, I believe, at least. Because if you're coming from a point of self-hatred, then whatever you're doing is not entirely genuine. I mean, the outcome of whatever you're doing is not that good, because you might seem frustrated, without even noticing it. You might just not create such a good content or a service or a product, whatever you're doing. Or you might be just completely losing your mind while doing those things, while working on those things, because it's just gonna put you down a lot more. I mean, after all, we are human beings and we wanna enjoy whatever we want to do. And especially if you wanna create the life of your dreams, I believe it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So if the journey is gonna be, the journey is gonna be bumpy and difficult and hard, and many things can happen there. However, if you have a positive mind, like you know you're doing all of this for a reason, you know the challenges that come are gonna teach you something, you know that this is all for you to learn, you're gonna approach it with a positive approach. You're gonna overcome those difficulties more easily and with more passion, with more understanding. I would say the best way to say it is you're gonna overcome these challenges more in tune with yourself, being more in tune with yourself, with who you are. You know, sometimes when you're feeling completely like you're out of flow state, let's say, if you're behaving in a way that it doesn't really correlate with who you are, yeah, that's how it's gonna feel like, and it's not a good feeling. So yeah, I've been struggling with it since I remember. Actually, I've always been... 1 second, coffee break. Hopefully it's not too hot. Good. I like to drink Americanos. It's my favorite coffee. If you drink any other coffees, let me know in comments. But yes, I've been struggling with comparing myself to others for a long time, and I've been thinking that others have it better, and how to stop that. This is really important. So, let's take 2 human beings. We can take 3 human beings, 4 human beings. But one important thing to remember is that the person you are now is because of the person you were yesterday and 2 days ago and 3 days ago, and we can go all the way down like this until the day you were born. And that creates a question with a simple answer. Do we choose where are we born, into what family, into what place in the world? Do we? No, we don't. Now, whether it's a question of if our life is all written already before we're born, you know, these deep philosophical topics. So whether all our life has been dictated from the day we were born, and we are, whatever choice we're making is just already there. Like if you open the book, which we don't have access to, the book titled Our Life, you can see that everything is written from the day of you were born to the day you died. Whether such book exists and whether this is a possibility of our existence on this earth, well, I don't know. No one knows, I believe. It's a kind of belief, right? You choose what you believe in. The other possibility is that you are actually able to change your path and where your life is gonna go, the direction. And you can probably do it a lot with hard work, with grinding, right? So hustle, hustle, hustle. And it can be damaging to your mental health, to your happiness overall, which we already discussed a few minutes before. So we don't choose basically where we're born, right? Like you cannot choose where you were born 20 years from, 30 years, however old you are. You don't choose that. So the person you become later in life is dictated by all the actions you have done in the past, with all the thought patterns you've had, which led you to certain decision, which led you to certain action, which led you to certain outcomes, which now put you in life where you are, with the life you have. And point is here about making better decisions, right? Making better decisions, making better outcomes by that. And the difficulty is, you know, we often tell ourselves, I could have taken a better decision, right? I could have done something better, or something simple. I could have answered to that person in a different way. How many times we rewind the conversations in our minds and thinking like, oh my God, I could have said this and that, and why didn't I think about it? I mean, it was there. I just didn't see it. So this kind of thinking got me a little bit paranoid recently in the last few months, even few years, I would say. Because whatever thing I was doing, I was thinking if this is the best thing I can do at this very moment. Is there any better way, any other way I can take a better decision? And it's a really difficult question, kind of, I think, highly philosophical, because it's making you a little bit crazy. How can you possibly know whether you can make a better decision? I mean, you're a human being trying to make the best decision you possibly have with the all knowledge that you have currently. Possibly in the future you can make a better decision, but now you're just doing your best. I believe this is the best thing we can assume when we're going through life. You need to take the situation, reassess the situation with the knowledge you have, and make the best decision you possibly have. And you need to trust that this is the best decision you could have made, because doubting yourself is just gonna cause more troubles than benefits. You're gonna get stuck in the past, you're gonna maybe become anxious, depressed, and it's just not worth it. Your productivity is gonna go down if you're really about, you know, achieving things. So it's a kind of a dark side of the story. I believe we can just discuss it much better in the next episode. But yeah, so then you start wishing that maybe if it was not the best decision you have made, you start wishing, oh, if I would be this and that person, I would make a better decision. If I wouldn't be born in this family, why did my parents teach me like that? Oh, it's all because of them. And we start a blaming process, which doesn't lead to anything good and anything productive, because how can you blame something that happened in the past? You technically just need to accept it. You cannot change it. So yeah, I've been talking about this with my friend recently. We had a very deep conversation, which kind of opened my eyes into something very important. Let's take those two people we were talking about before. There is me and there is this other person, right? And that other person, which is exactly the same age I am, which seems to be extremely happy with a lot of money, living the time of his life, not being even that old yet. And I'm just like, how did they achieve what they have achieved? Like, I've searched, because there are a public personality, for example, so I've done some research and I've seen that they were actually putting a lot of work into what they're doing. And well, then I'm figuring out, like, why didn't I start before? I could be at the same place, potentially even better or even worse, but still would be much better than where I am now. So yeah, that's a bad comparison. And I started thinking, how did this person get to the point they are now, and why couldn't I? What made me become a person I am today and not the person I wish I could be today? And of course, going back in time, you start thinking that, well, I had probably different kind of thinking than they did when I was 17, when I was 15, 10, 5. And what influences the way we think? Our surrounding and the people we surround ourselves with. So since I am still quite young, I've been mostly influenced by my family, mostly my parents, and by my friends at school, around me. And okay, so the most important thing that leads us to our parents and family, how we were brought up, how we were growing up, surrounded by who, with what lessons from our parents. And yeah, then you might start having this wishful thinking that, oh, I wish I had better parents. But you don't choose that. And the only thing to accept the position you are is to actually accept that you couldn't possibly have a different family. Those things couldn't possibly go differently. And I started thinking that probably that person I was talking about before had a family who was more encouraging, more open-minded, more maybe entrepreneurial. Maybe they were already having some kind of business, so that person was growing up in a sphere of business people. So he just had his mindset built up from the early years, and that made him the person he is now. He was just having lots of potentials and lots of possibilities, lots of different mindsets from early years of his life, actually from the beginning of his life, if that was his family, the entrepreneurial people. So for him, whether it was a forceful change or whether it was just a normality, reality, you see, because if we are at the same age at this very moment and I have some kind of revolutionary change in my thoughts patterns, I'm like, wow, everything I believed so far was a lie, or like I have a so much better perspective now. How could I have thought that before? And it kind of changes everything, and I start treating my life with a different approach. I start doing different things, taking different steps, and making different decisions, basically. Whereas that person might have came to the point where they are in life organically, because maybe we actually achieved the same type of mindset now. I don't know that, nobody knows that. But if they've been going there organically, they are already swimming in the sea of their mindset, of the knowledge, how they perceive things. Whereas for me, this is something new. This is something I still need to explore, because I have just changed my concept from something to something different, and I need to equally adjust other concepts I have in my mind about other things. Because, you know, the change is never only in one singular spot. It's always in, it will always basically change equals more change, because it's gonna be like this pyramid, yeah, from one change to all of the different other small changes, and basically your whole mindset is gonna change. So yeah, that led me to another type of thinking. One moment. And I am usually, when I'm having a big discovery, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and feeling overwhelmed is not a good thing, because it kind of blocks your movements. I'm saying both mental and physical ones. You don't really know what to do because you are overwhelmed. You might even become anxious, which I've been. So I'm most feeling very much paralyzed. Paralyzed is a really good word. I didn't know how to move. Like, honestly, I didn't know whether I should reach my arm to collect something, or whether I should reach that arm a little bit higher or a little bit lower, from what angle, or maybe I should reach the left hand. So that went to that degree, and I hope you, and I don't wish you anything like that. But I was thinking if other people are also as overwhelmed as I sometimes get, because I like taking things apart into small little details and digging very deeply instead of kind of looking at the whole picture, maybe trying to connect the easier dots. I have this problem that I don't see these easier dots. I like digging really deep in one concept, dig it to the bottom, at least the bottom of my possibilities for the moment. I will discover something, and from that bottom, I'm starting to crawl down and change the other possibilities around. That's pretty much how it is. So, for me, I'm often feeling like I'm having a very forced growth, because I really want to change the person I've been. I've already done it quite a lot. However, I want to force it because I'm not in the point of life where I want to be, and I'm working hard towards changing it. Without self-hatred, without negative feelings, with lots of passion, and I'm trying at the same time to appreciate what I'm doing. However, I constantly have this voice that you should have done this so much ago, so long ago. You should be doing more valuable things now. And as humans, we have this weird tendency to do, when we're doing a certain thing, we always have this feeling that we shouldn't be doing it, that we should be doing something else, that we are too good at this moment to be doing that simple, stupid thing. But at the same time, if you attach this kind of thinking into everything in your life, then you realize that no matter what you're doing, you're never present in the moment and you're never happy with what you're doing. And as much as I love this type of philosophy, I gotta admit I am not applying it myself. I'm working on it, and yeah, give you some feedback when it changes. So, just summarizing everything at this point, do some people have it easier in life, and why? So we have discussed that there are factors that are outside of our control, and the only thing we can do is accept them. Whether or how to accept them is another very long topic, which I believe will be touched upon in the next episode, because I really want to go in depth with it. Let me just take a moment. Did I forget anything? Because I have a tendency to flow with my thoughts and speech, and sometimes it might not even make sense what I'm saying, but who cares? Okay, so I think that's everything I wanted to say at this very moment. I think that whatever you're growing up surrounded with makes you the person you are, and you cannot therefore compare yourself to others. You cannot therefore expect too much from yourself. Expect from yourself, of course, expect a lot, but not in a way that you cannot handle it. Like, sometimes you think that, oh, this thing is so difficult, I don't know if I can make it, and you're like, yes, you can make it, because you feel that it's difficult, but you have the resources to do it in the best way you can. Later on, you can improve on that. However, there are things like, if I, for example, now thought about applying for being a president of the United States, apart from the fact that I'm not even from United States, I know nothing about politics. I'm not even interested in politics, but I believe that I would make a lot of money and have a good reputation, right? Well, that doesn't make sense. I have not really any resources in me. I don't even have willingness and passion to learn. So why would I start forcing myself to do something I'm gonna hate? The journey I'm gonna hate. Whereas on the other hand, if I would like to have a successful business worth like millions of dollars, and the only thing I don't know is how to do anything, and for example, what product should I sell? Well, I can figure those things out, right? And because I really would like to have that business, I would love to be independent, I can go for it. I'm gonna figure out the steps throughout time as I go along the pathway. So this is the thing I wanted to add. Okay, guys, if you are still with me, if you ended up listening to the end, I would like to thank you so much, because it's been a great adventure. Actually, I really enjoyed talking all this time. Please, let's start a conversation, because these videos are for the purpose of also conversating together, and I don't want these thoughts to be just thrown at you. I want you to also tell me your thoughts, and in case I can change something in my way of reasoning, we can all together grow as humans and appreciate life better, be better, achieve more, be more happy. Yes, that would be perfect. Just a little disclaimer, which I should have put at the beginning. I'm just a person here talking to you, so whatever advice I give in these videos, this is my perspective, my personal perspective, and I'm just sharing my thoughts with you, okay? Don't take any of this as, no matter how important advice, might not work for you, might not be relevant to you, and yeah, I might have not expressed myself the right way, I don't know, let me know in comments. And guys, I wish you lots of coffee in your life, or tea, If you don't like them both, just some water, something good. And thank you so much again, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.